So let's take a closer look at the timing overview, right? So very important, write that stuff down. That will be essential to have for you as a compass and overall intraday guideline, so you know exactly where to look for, what's the intentions of the timing, is there a trap, is there build-up being happening, is the inducement also backed up with timing confluences, and use it chronologically all the time. So as we know already, you start with Asia range, right? And the first thing you should look for is, of course, Frankfurt open timing. And that can be sometimes trading into the inducement out of the breakout of Asia range. Or again, if we have already an Asia range and already broke out, this also can be the inducement of the day. But that's more rarely, and you should be careful about this one because again, our ideal inducement out of Asia range happens in London Open. And sometimes, of course, this also can be a minor inducement. The medium inducement happens in London Open, and then you're ready for completing the cycle to the downside and taking out Asia low in here. But the first timing confluence is Frankfurt, either trading into the inducement or is the inducement already for additional confluences. Then our main one is London Open, and again, all times are UTC +2. So easiest to find that is just to adjust your trading view timing to UTC +2, and you also will get the timing indicator template, where we want to call it, on trading view. So don't worry about that. At the end of the end of week 2, you will get access to the timing template on trading view. So these timing zones, they will show automatically, not Frankfurt Open though. So you have to see Frankfurt Open yourself. London Open will be a box, so you have like a box for Asia range that will be drawn automatically for you as well. Then Frankfurt, you just have to use your Rolex to check the timing, right? But London Open trap has a box to it, so you have like always a little bit of buffer. It's not always all the way to the minute, right? Then for Magic Manipulation minute 1, there will be a gray line. You also can disable it, but again, we will show you how to use this time template, so don't worry about that too much. So there will be gray lines in here, so you can see what's going on and when the timings of Magic Manipulation minute happens. So the first one though, 10:30 UTC +2. Second one, 12:30, and they love to literally trap and manipulate price during that times. Then we have New York Open. That is, oh, sorry, that should say fourth, like we missed a one in here. So that is New York Trap. So before New York Trap, we have New York Open. So I missed one, sorry for that one. So New York Open is the next one. That is 2 p.m. UTC +2. I hope you see my drawing here. So New York Open is the first one with 2 p.m. or like 14, whatever you call it, like probably 2 p.m. Right? 2 p.m. UTC +2. That is New York Open. But our major trap is New York Trap, not the O, the trap, right? New York Trap, and that is 3 p.m. right? 3 p.m. UTC +2. That is our major trap for New York. That is 1 hour after New York Open. So 3 p.m. is New York Trap, and 2 p.m. UTC +2 is New York Open. Okay, so but we will focus on New York Trap. That is where the true trap move happens, and we don't trade New York Open. Okay, so New York Open sometimes can be the trap. Same thing as Frankfurt and London vary it sometimes. Again, the major trap can happen New York Open as well, same as the major trap can happen in Frankfurt Open, but we again focus on London Open and New York Trap, not Open. Okay, and the last time confluence we have is London Close. So maybe just first make my picture here, maybe New York Open fakes the double bottom, New York Trap comes in, traps high, something like this, and then continues lower, and then London Close happens in this, and then just ends the day off like here. Okay, but we already digged into the first cycle variation. We will have a few different cycle variations where also London and New York and in between there can be continuation trades, but now we just give you the first picture to understand the first cycle of how it can work also. So that's the overall time table you need. Just again add your New York Open and replace that with New York Trap, and then you're good to go. That's all the times you need. So let's take a look at some charts, right? So as always, we have our Asia session. That's how our intraday starts. And we already can see, okay, we had the build up, equal lows in here, double bottom, right? Again, also faking it here a little bit, giving us the equal highs for later, right? And the lows here and the double bottom here as well, right? So boom, induces it to the downside with what? Speed, vector candles to the downside. When is the push happening? Frankfurt Open to the absolute minute. So what do we expect if we see something like that? Chup, right? But of course we don't start here. Now we see huge chupings to the upside, right? Of course, now vector candles to the upside, same scenario. So what can we expect? Pullback area onto this, where you always learn what this is in week 3. So additional confluences. So again, we know what's going on. We had our vector candles to the high side. At some point, price has to pull back, of course, right? Fills the imbalances. As you can see, there's no imbalances anywhere. That's the last imbalances we had from here to here. That is also, I give you a quick hint already. That's the Asia range, right? This whole purple box. That's the 50% of Asia range. So the Asia mid line, that's backed up also with the last imbalance zone, getting mitigated, taps the liquidity zone of Asia midline. So guess what? What can we expect? Price to chup higher. And of course it does that. Then the next major time confluence. And again, also if you check the timing, when does this happen to the downside? What a surprise, only magic manipulation minutes, right? And then also if you check this time in here, when does this push happen? Only magic manipulation minutes one. So what a surprise. As you can see, the whole day is literally mapped out like crazy, right? So this is almost to the minute. This is almost to the minute. This is again 12:30, should be something in here, right? Almost to the minute. And guess what? Now we have high trap. When does it happen? New York trap only to the absolute minute. So what can we expect? Chup. And again, what does London close do? Faking a double bottom in here, comes back to mitigate. That's London close task to do. Traders want to go home. At least the institutions, banks, and architects want to mitigate out of their positions. The price can go lower. Boom. Easy. Done. See, timing as a compass, insanely powerful, okay? Another example, 7th of April, we had this before. So guess what? Same thing, huge channel buildup, right? Last impulse with speed, and look at this. This candle was solid black at this point, right? Or solid gray. Again, the wick is here, it's hard to see, it ends here, right? But then guess what? The timing, what's the timing? Frankfurt Open, a little bit off, right? So guess what? But you should see that in the cycle, that this is definitely done here with this huge vector candle. So what can we expect? The tube, right? So then again, huge momentum down run. If you see the timing, unfortunately we can't to the bottom, but magic manipulation minutes 1 looks like it, right? And guess what? After this huge momentum downwards, of course they cannot move in this direction all the time if they use the speed and everything. So guess what? They have to pull back. Boom, tube, right? So that moves more like magic manipulation 1, right? So guess what? Next timing trap, taking out this high in here. New York trap takes it out. So what can we expect after that? Reversal. And that's how you can use timing again for your compass. And again, the architect will be like, oh shit, you can't induce that guy with timing anymore, right? So timing is used when the liquidity enters and always to trap even more liquidity into the wrong direction. You should understand by now, oh shit, okay. They use it actually for your benefit as well, because you can use it as a compass and guideline. Another example. All right, so we have a lot of examples, like all that's recent ones. right? So for me, it's a little bit covered, but I think the first one was April, whatever. The second was also April. This is like, looks like May to me, whatever, 24th of May, something like that, right? So guess what? Same picture as always. London Open in here after this huge momentum upswitch, right? So guess what? First the channeling downwards, building Asia low, channeling upwards, finally breaks out of Asia with vector candles. Timing is to the minute. I think if I can see that should be 9:10, so 10 minutes off a little bit. You also can see the box. That's perfect timing for London Open. So what can we see or what can we expect? The tube, and even 10 times nicer, now building double bottoms, right, of Asia low, even comes back a third time, fakes the reversal, again, fakes a double top here, builds liquidity again. Then, what a surprise! New York trap time to the minute takes out the equal lows and Asia low. So what can we expect? Tube! Right, then again, London close being the inducement in this time. We also had this for London close being a potential characteristic. London close, again, this candle was solid. Great, at some point, this wick ends here. So this also was solid. A candle in here happens right to the minute with London close. You can also see it with this purple line. You will also see on your time indicator. So guess what? Tube, pullback, day over, done. Insane, okay? So a very recent example, that's the 30th of June, right? So technically a few days ago, whatever, depending on when you see this video, but when I record this video, it's literally yesterday, right? Anyways, so what do we see? Build up, inducement. And again, this is the thing. It doesn't matter when it is. It's like a year ago, 5 months ago, 3 years ago, yesterday, tomorrow. It's the same shit all over again. Just get these concepts into your head because they're timeless. Evergreen concepts, that's how the market really works. And of course, they use timing and always will because that's how it works. Okay? So, equal highs with Asia high. Guess what? And do slow one more time. Boom. Troops, the liquidity. Asia breakout to the high side. When does it happen? Oh, Frankfurt Open. Okay. Interesting. Gives you the break of structure. Leaves the huge imbalances, right? Comes back with news even, news event, fills it first, even takes out Asia low, so obviously can push price higher into the mitigation area in here. Okay, perfect, what a surprise. Then guess what? Channel build up before that news into the extreme mitigation. What a surprise, induce the channel to the high side to do what? Push price lower, building a new channel in the process. Inducing price low with what? Vector candles. What's the timing? New York Open. What a surprise. Gives you the break of structure to confirm that the cycle is done completed, right? Leaves the imbalances, comes back, fills the mitigations, builds a new channel in the process. Vector candle never took out Asia high, the liquidity to the left, right? So stays inside, fakes a smart money trap to the downside. With London close, again, if London closes the extreme, it should induce something, builds the channel, boom, there you go, done for the day, and a little pullback after that, right? And again, guess what? We took this trade, we even took this trade, we even took this trade, and this one, right? And then of course the day was just over, so there's just a few pullback trades in here. But that's all stuff you will trade later on, so that's insane. And we have an abundance of examples. So guess what? Let's see what's going on here. So first things first, again, we're starting with this day even. Guess what? Asia range never was induced. What does Frankfurt do? Induces high to do what? Pushes price lower. And then again, you probably have to look to the left what's going on. So this is just inducement out of Asia low. That's why you also always consider inducements out of Asia low just by itself minor inducements, right? And then just gives a fake pullback, builds up this channel, right? When is the channel induced? Whoops, with speed and momentum, right? Before that, you had this order flow entries here and here into the inducement with vector candles. When does it happen? You also see this box. You will also see it soon on your trading view to the absolute minute in trap time. Perfect. And then is ready to tube to the upside when the cycle is completed, takes out Asia high, and then can reverse from there on. The next day then, what does it do? First of all, building some liquidity very late in the day, takes it out. Again, faking the smart money continuation here. That's your smart money trap. Again, also faking the baby Koch, whatever you want to call it, right? Then guess what? Channel inducing miner out of Asia low. Again, that's very early though, but guess what? Pushes price higher. And then again, that's where the understanding to the left becomes very important. All right, so this is just miner, never induce something here. Again, if anything, builds up the quadruple top bottom in here, fakes again the break of structure. And guess what? Even here, builds like the equal lows, right? And then guess what? Where's the imbalances? All the way in here, like from here to here again. And that's what? Magic manipulation minutes, fills some sort of imbalances, right? That's your time window where you can see now finally, okay, this is the whole channel build-up. They're making one a bigger picture, right? Gets induced to the low side. Again, obviously you have to draw it a little bit more accurate than me with my fancy hand drawings in here, right? But guess what? That's like the major channel build-up for the downside, getting induced by speed and vector candles with magic manipulation minutes 2 in these scenarios, filling the higher time frame imbalances. So if you break that down to the 1 hour, that's probably the 1 hour imbalance, something in here, taps that, fills that, right? And then is ready to obviously shoot to new highs. Then the moment obviously everything is induced to the high side with speed and momentum, next timing confluence, London close, induce something to the left, perfect. And guess what? Can pull back down. Okay, so get slowly, surely used to these timing confluences, because you will notice also if there's a major move happen, it's very likely that it happens during these timings. So again, use it as a compass, but use the build-up cycle before that, use the lit cycle before that, and then confirm it with the timing to give you an overall even better understanding of what's going on. Next one, 14th of April, right? Again, doesn't really matter what we take, it's always the same stuff. So guess what? We had this, first of all, we had this huge quadruple bottom on Asia low. That's like just screaming in your face, take me out later. But before they take it out, guess what? They building up channels, inducing to the high side. And again, at this stage, you would be, induced to the high side, fair enough. So you can be ready for a pullback, but guess what? Showing the equal highs, also faking the pullback. Then again, you have to be very careful then to see what they're building up with their liquidity, faking the double top, pull back down. So it gives resistance traders all interested into it, right? And then guess what? Final inducement to the high side. When does it happen? Only to the absolute minute with magic manipulation minutes 1. Okay, we talked about that, when sometimes they love to induce high, then build more liquidity and then take it out of magic manipulation minutes 1. Perfect. And only absolute to the minute. And again, at this point, we showed you examples all over the place. Like again, a year ago, half a year ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, very recent. It's always the same. You just have to identify what play they're going, right? Then guess what? After they induced everyone to the high side, what's the next liquidity target? Juicy Asia low. What do they do before that? Faking the smart money trap, giving a false reaction, giving the quad million bottom, and then of course giving one more time the low side, and then choop, just take it out by just a speckle off on wick, take it out. When does it happen? What is a price? Only New York open to the absolute minute, and then fill the imbalance when a New York trap to the absolute minute. What a surprise. And then of course they can shoot upwards because they took out the liquidity first. But you see, everything here is literally backed with timing and to the absolute minute at some point. Again, this trap first happened or only to the absolute minute in London Open. Interesting. Again, then they're just building equal highs. That's why you have to be a little bit careful and then see this is a fake push downwards to take it out in 1. Magic manipulation minutes to the absolute minute. Takes out liquidity of equal low or what million bottom only to the minute. fills the imbalance extreme of the M1 later on to the absolute minute. Insane. Right, another one. 18th of May, again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What month for the year, it doesn't freaking matter. That's May of 2022, whatever. Right, so guess what? It's a little bit tricky one. So you have this huge buildup, right? Again, always helpful if you're not having struggle to find the buildup properly. Use the clean buildups where you can see from 50 miles away, like where they're touching all these trend lines, right? And then just mirror it up, right? So you can see the bigger picture channel also. And again, you see these huge vector candles, another one. So this time they gave 2 impulses to the high side. Again, that's why sometimes the break of structure can be very helpful. So you don't messing up like, I have to take this reversal trade in here. Poof, and then getting smoked. That's why we never pick like a high if you don't have another confluence to the left. If it's like a higher time for mitigation or like some sort of inducement, then of course this is a valid sell, but probably we didn't have that in here. Right, so we have to look in higher time frames. Probably looks like something was like in here, something, right? Something like this maybe. And then giving the equal highs in here one more time, takes it out, again faking the equal highs, quadruple bottom, triple top in there, faking the break of structure for the reversal traders, again inducing low of the structure to go what? Go high one more time, and then the cycle should be very, very clean in this scenario. Channel build up, double top in here, and then this time it just takes it out in Asia. It's completely fine, right? But then you have to understand, oh shit, that's my medium inducement in Asia. So I want to trade away from that, right? And guess what? In the process, building up equal highs, right? Frankfurt pushes price lower into the inducement of London, right? Okay, never took out something to the left, right? In this stage, only builds up small money traps. Perfect. Then takes it, again, fills some sort of imbalances in here. But where's the next liquidity? That's the medium inducement. That's where you start to think about combining things. That's your medium inducement. That's your liquidity buildup, right? That's your inducement that fills imbalances. But again, you still want to trade away from the medium inducement. But of course, price has to push back. When does this happen? To the absolute minute in magic manipulation minutes 1. Again, pulls back, gives you the valid breaker structure after the inducement, filling into mitigation, right? So that's your potential mitigation area to trade when into the next liquidity area. Boom, grabs the liquidity. What is this box? What's the timing of this box? New York trap time to the absolute minute. And then, of course, boom, wants to go lower. Easy. Trading away from the medium inducement and away from all these crazy buy trends they build up. You see how it works. All right, another one. 5th of April, right? So guess what? Building the channel, upwards. Again, even minor baby plays before that, right? You can see what they do. Building the channel, sideways action, inducing low, right? Perfect, into this one. Boom, inducing low to go higher. Channel buildup, induce the channel low to go higher, boom, into the inducement. Again, this is the most common scenario where you have a minor inducement first, and this acting most likely as a medium inducement, and this happens in London Open. So again, always expect the first push out of it, pull back. Also, we will learn this trade in here. That's one of my favorite trades, getting into the London inducement again, and then London happens to the minute, induces the final liquidity, and then is ready to move lower and aim for what? Right? So guess what? First taking out this liquidity point. When does it happen? Magic manipulation minutes 1. Okay, so we can expect a pullback. Comes back to the extreme. Right? So taking out the first liquidity target. Comes back to extreme, gives a pullback. Now guess what? It's a whole different scenario because you're having a free whatever, even a quadruple top in here. So that's where you have to understand what they're doing in terms of the liquidity. So this should not aim lower anymore for the day, at least. Again, at some point, obviously, we'll take out these equal lows. Again, that's the concept of liquidity. They have to show the liquidity. They don't have to take it out immediately all the time. But in this scenario, okay, we fake now the inducement to the low side. We give this quadruple top with 4 touches to the high side. And again, this is then technically trading away from this inducement. And then you want to trade into the liquidity that just built up here, and then they grab it. Okay, like this. Boom. Okay, so you see, what do they do before that? Building up the channel, inducing the channel in what direction? To the low side, taking out the structure point, and then chup it. Now they grabbed all the liquidity, right? And guess what? Now you will be, oh, what about Asia low? Blah, blah, blah. Guess what? First they're taking out this liquidity. They're showing you even how they did it. Again, look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches to this point. Inducing low, taking out the structure point. Like here. Inducing low, also the channel buildup getting induced low. Boom. Snack all this quam million top in here. When do they do it? New York trap time. What a surprise. Now they grabbed all the liquidity high, whacked the candles to the high side, still left with the equal lows of Asia low. So guess what's going to happen? Boom. What? It's magical, but still so real. You just have to understand, again, the build-up cycles. When does the inducement happen? Draw in the liquidity, show in what direction the inducement induces, use timing as a compass, and it will be magical, but still so real. Again, we have more. There's so much more. Guess what? 14th of June, very recent, right? So guess what? Same stuff. Nothing changes. So guess what? First build up, in which direction I get induced. Boom, to the low side. When does it happen? Frankfurt. Interesting. Induces high. With channel, when does it happen? London open, and guess what? Induces 1 time higher with magic manipulation minutes. So guess what? It's ready to go lower. To do what? Technically aim for Asia low, but guess what? In hindsight, we already can see it didn't get taken out, but that will be even juicier for later on. But for now, obviously, we want to trade it away from this one. Okay, so here's your potential area. What do they do here? Build up, inducement with speed, vector candle to the high side, mitigates an extreme point. Perfect. Trade it lower. Channel, inducement high with what? Vector candle into what? Order flow, aiming for these liquidity areas. Then the day is just over. It's just getting too late, and they don't want to take out Asia low too late, because guess what? They use it for build up. For what? The next day. But guess what? Build up, inducing high, build up, inducing low, structure point getting induced here. To go what? Induced low. To go what? Higher. Vector candles. Yes, if you're just looking into the picture, this would be like a valid vector. But then again, look to the left. You want to take out the next liquidity point. Medium inducement. Right, so that's your medium inducement right here. Fakes the break of structure to the low side. Again, that's what magic manipulation minutes minute comes in. Inducing, again, this equal highs that just built also. So again, just for understanding purposes, yes, this one very well to downside. If they come back all the way again and show you equal highs, we had this example before, be aware that they're probably going to snack it. Right, snack it, take it out, and then you're ready to trade this away from the medium inducement. Right, again, this was the medium inducement, yes, but then builds equal highs. So this one becomes your minor inducement into a medium inducement. To see how you're combining stuff. So medium inducement, perfect, but intraday builds up liquidity high side, induces us intraday. So you have a minor inducement of a medium inducement, very fucking juicy, and you aim for what? Next liquidity area, boom. And guess what they do before? Building triple bottom, faking the reaction. That's where you also can enter it. And this time, again, New York trap becomes a continuation trade because you can never grab liquidity. The world sees a triple bottom. The world sees a strong support. Oh, but guess what you see? Liquidity. Snack it. All right, then guess what? Build up, inducing high first to go what? Lower, pushes price down with news. What a surprise. Oh, the news are so random. Guess what? The news are definitely always completing a cycle. And you can see there. Build up, inducing high to go lower. Now this whole thing is done. Induce the triple bottom. Right, done. snag the liquidity, use the use and induce both sides, but obviously this one is the major one. On this scenario, the medium inducement. Guess what? Pushes price back. Next day, you understand, okay, they left huge imbalances of this medium inducement. So guess what they're gonna do? Build up, pull back, still in the build up, inducing the build up to the low side into mitigation. Here's your vertical structure. Here's your mitigation. Boom. Snack it all. And then when they're just out of it, they're just out of it. Okay. Insane, isn't it? And then again, this one again would technically be medium, but you should be very careful about not like, it took out this high, so I need to take the short. Oh, it took out this high, so I need to take the short. Oh, it took out this, so I need to. No, no, no. As you can clearly see, that's not the way we do it, is it? It couldn't be more from the opposite, right? We back it up with all the cycles. And again, if you see something like this, triple bottom, get snacked, medium inducement, left imbalances, that's a proper overall higher time frame cycle. Medium inducement getting mitigated, cycle before that, inducement into mitigation, gives a break of structure into mitigation, and then it's off. Of course, price have to run in some direction when a proper cycle is fulfilled. Okay, so get that into your head. Another one. All right, easy one. What's going on here? Channel, induced to the high side, to go up, push price lower, out of Asia low, boom, getting snacked. When does it happen? What is the price? Frankfurt, okay, interesting, but again, just a baby inducement, so left equal lows. Now, equal highs being formed in here, getting snacked. And as before, build up, inducing low to push price higher into the inducement. When does it happen? Only magic manipulation minutes to the absolute minute. So choop it down. Next channel, getting induced to the downside. In here, right? So maybe you argue, oh, there's still is in the channel. Perfect. Even better if you realize that. That's exactly how you need to do it. That's why they're not done yet. Right? Okay. And then the day is just over. It's too late. Right? London close happens in here. So you just expect like a little pullback, and that's it for the day. And then because of liquidity left, leaves the market. And then obviously this becomes very juicy later on. Leaving in again, it's always step ahead before the next day. So last one. Let's see what we have in here. Right. Build up. Right. Not induced to the high side yet. It's still in it. If anything, induces to the low side this channel. Right. So guess what? Baby channel in there. Vector candles into it. Into what? You already know what that is. I spoiled a little bit. Right. So guess what we can do in this scenario? You got it. Right. Frankfurt happens. So, right. If Frankfurt wants to trade into the inducement, even nicer. Boom. There you go. Builds the equal highs. Pull back, fakes it. Takes it out finally. When does it happen? London open. So guess what? We had this huge channel buildup. We had it induced to low side. Mitigates these areas. We wanted to trade it into the inducement. Gives another buildup to the high side. Pull back. Boom. Grabs now all the liquidity. Now this channel is induced. Also the daily cycle is completed. So what direction can we head for? To the downside. Choop. Insane. Okay. And of course, taking out Asia low. What do they do before that? Faking the quadruple bottom. Faking the break of structure. Faking reversal traders in just to snack them out. And that's it. So use the timing confluences as an intraday compass, as I showed you now a couple of times. It's not again, oh, look at the clock and it's Frankfurt open to the mid, I have to open a buy. That's not how it works. Again, you have to combine it with all the other stuff you learned so far. The most important thing is the understanding of liquidity, and slowly but surely also the combination of multiple time frames, or at least looking to the left, what's going on. Use the cycles and then use timing as additional confluences, and it will become magical. Okay, there's still so much more to go. Week 2, isn't that crazy? And you already know almost everything, right? So insane. So get that into your head again. Make a lot of tasks now. Get again this mocked up. See the build up. See the inducements. See the mitigations. You also dig into the simplicity approach. You also have a very good understanding of how to use it properly and get used to it. Okay, practice, practice, practice. That's where the moment is starting, where you have to see some really crazy moments, because at this point you're slowly getting into the solidification stage where this has just to become fluid. Again, we have a lot of time left, but do it. Keep up, because then at this point you have a lot of knowledge already. Everything builds upon each other. So again, slowly but surely have to combine it. Okay, so use it properly and make a lot of mock-ups. Okay, have fun. We catch up in the next video.